Welcome everyone to our few minutes together on the Parsha. This week's Parsha is Parshas Emor, which begins, innocently enough, almost like every other Parsha in the Torah. Sometimes the Parshas begin by Daber Hashem el Moshe Lemor, and Hashem spoke to Moshe saying. There's a little difference. In this week's Sedra it begins, Vayomer Hashem el Moshe, and Hashem says to Moshe, Emor el HaKohanim b'nei Aaron. So it says the word Vayomer and then Emor. And in addition, right after it says that, the pasuk continues on and it says, Ve'omarta aleihem, you shall say to them. So first it begins, Emor el HaKohanim b'nei Aaron, and then it says, Ve'omarta aleihem. Didn't it already say, Emor el HaKohanim b'nei Aaron, you should speak to the sons of Aaron, you should talk to them, say to them, and then Ve'omarta aleihem, again, it says you should say to them. So the Gemara in Yevamos and Rashi quotes from Chazal, there's a reason why it says Emor and Ve'omarta two times. Rashi says the reason of Emor Ve'omarta is Lahazhir Hagedolim al Haktanim, to warn, to instruct the elders concerning the youngsters, in terms of Tumah, that the Kohanim should instruct the little children, that they should also, if they are Kohanim, be aware that they should not come close to a corpse, to a dead body. They have to be cautious like any other Kohen in some respects. But the general expression, Emor ve'omarta lahazir gedolim alaktanim, is taken as an aphorism to remind us, lahazir gedolim, that the big ones should be warned, alaktanim, about the smaller ones. And there are many ways to read this. For instance, one way to read it might be, lahazir gedolim, to warn the big people, alaktanim, about making sure that their actions are so nice that the ktanim, the smaller people, will learn from the gedolim and try to emulate them, similar to children emulating parents. Another interpretation, lahazir gedolim alaktanim, to instruct or warn the elders about even the ktanim, even the small little mitzvahs, even the things that a person might think is insignificant. There is nothing that is insignificant. A simple please and thank you goes a long way towards establishing a person's greatness, a person's value. And sometimes a person might think, I'm above that. Oh no. Lahazir gedolim, that even if you think you're a lofty person and a delivery man comes to the door, you don't have to necessarily pay respect to that individual. It's not so. Lahazir gedolim, even al haktanim, even on what you might not be considered as a lofty as a person as you, and on the small deeds. Saying hello to the super who sweeps the sidewalk in the morning and smiling at him. Saying hello to the sanitation worker who you pass, collecting garbage. Or just general greeting people and saying good Shabbos. Lahazir gedolim al haktanim. It has so many ramifications. One of the interesting things about the Torah and its transmission is that the Torah's transmission is given over from the elders to the youngsters. And we believe and understand that it's given over in a direct line from parent to child. Many philosophers have pointed out that all the information that people know, they don't really know for sure. Such as, we don't know 100% sure even who our parents are, other than we rely on what they tell us. And if you're going to tell me, well, you can go get a DNA test, nobody goes and gets DNA tests to find out for sure who the parent is. Not only that, but isn't it possible that the father paid off the guy who gives the DNA test and tells you the results, that maybe It's not so. But we accept. And we know that when our parents speak to us and tell us information, that's what we rely on. And so the Torah transmission is totally dependent on lahazir gedolim al haktanim. It's telling us that the elders transmit to the youngsters. And we've got to be very careful about that transmission and the way we talk to our youngsters, to our children, to our friends, to the other people. We've got to be cautious because Emor v'Ormaita lahazir gedolim al haktanim. And you might think to yourself, well, that only applies to the Kahanim, but doesn't it say in Chumash Shmos Perek Yutes va'atem tihiyu li mamleches kohanim that you should be for me a kingdom of priests? So in many ways, the Emor v'Omarta lahazir gedolim al haktanim applies equally to us. What a beautiful way to start the Parsha of Parshas Emor. Have a wonderful Shabbos.